So it is asked rhetorically um, by lots of the anti-Israel crowd these days. The question, what has Israel ever done for the United States of America? Or what has Israel ever done for America? And it's a rhetorical question. If these people would get off their behinds and go to Google and just ask that question of Google, they would get an answer. But knowing that it might require some research to provide an answer, or that people might not be able to rattle off all of the things that Israel has done for the United States of America off the top of their heads, they try to plant seeds of doubt in the U.S. Israel alliance, um, just banking on the ignorance of the person who hears the rhetorical question. So I went to Google and I asked it the question, what has Israel ever done for the United States of America? And this was the answer I got. Israel and the United States maintain a close relationship based on shared strategic interests and cooperation in military, intelligence, and technology fields. This collaboration provides the U.S. with significant benefits in several key areas: security and defense, intelligence sharing. Israeli intelligence agencies like the Mossad regularly share critical intelligence with the CIA and other U.S. agencies. This collaboration helps the U.S. combat terrorism, counter regional threats like Iran and its proxies, and has reportedly provided early warnings of attacks targeting U.S. personnel. So, in other words, American lives have been saved because Israel has shared intelligence. Military innovation and cooperation. The U.S. and Israel collaborate on developing and improving military technologies, including missile defense systems like Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow. Joint military exercises such as Juniper Oak and Juniper Falcon also enhance interoperability and strategic coordination between the two forces. Technological testing ground. As a battle-tested environment, Israel serves as a real-world laboratory for U.S. military technology and weaponry. This helps improve U.S. equipment and tactics. Israeli military innovation in areas like drone defense, tunnel detection, and advanced sensors has also been shared with and leveraged by the U.S. Strategic military position. Former U.S. Army General Alexander Haig once described Israel as the largest American aircraft carrier in the world that cannot be sunk. Its strategic location in the volatile Middle East helps advance U.S. geopolitical interests without deploying large numbers of American troops. The U.S. also maintains a war reserve stockpile in Israel that can be used by American forces in a regional emergency. Huh, I didn't know that. The U.S. also maintains a war reserve stockpile in Israel that can be used by American forces in a regional emergency. Technology and economy. Cybersecurity collaboration. The U.S. and Israel are leading partners in cybersecurity, conducting joint exercises and collaborating to develop advanced defenses against cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure. The Department of Homeland Security and its Israeli counterparts oversee joint grant programs to fund research and development in this area. Joint research and development. Bilateral foundations like the U.S.-Israel Binational Science Foundation and the U.S.-Israel Binational Industrial Research and Development Foundation have funded hundreds of collaborative projects since the 1970s. These initiatives have led to innovations in technology, agriculture, renewable energy, and life sciences. Economic investment and job creation. Israeli companies are a significant source of foreign direct investment in the U.S., which helps support American jobs and strengthens the U.S. economy. Much of the U.S. military assistance to Israel is spent on purchasing U.S.-made military equipment, which also supports American jobs and the U.S. defense industry. Innovation powerhouse. Israel's reputation as a startup nation has led major U.S. companies to establish research and development centers there to tap into its technological expertise. In other words, its brain power. This has contributed to advancements in a variety of tech sectors, including artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and semiconductors. Diplomacy and regional stability. Promoting peace and stability. As a strong democratic ally in a volatile region, Israel provides a source of stability for the U.S. The U.S. has often worked with Israel to pursue diplomatic solutions, including brokering the Abraham Accords that normalized relations between Israel and several Arab countries. Countering hostile powers. Israel has acted as a counterweight to radical and anti-American forces in the region, helping to contain threats from state actors like Iran and other extremist groups. In the past, Israel has taken action to prevent the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East. And then that's that's the end of the entry. Now, of course, these things that are good for America, lots of leftists aren't going to think very highly of those things, because lots of those leftists want America to burn. So, when they say, what has Israel done for the United States of America, they don't really care, lots of them, about America. They would prefer to see America destroyed because they feel guilty for being an American. They think that America does only evil, etc. They're not patriots. They're not American patriots. So when Israel actually does something that promotes the survival and the thrival, if I could use that as a word, of the United States of America, they don't really see that as such a good thing. When they say, what has Israel done for us, what they're probably saying is, why hasn't Israel put money in my wallet? But as you can see, the contributions in the business sector actually do give Americans jobs, and those jobs put money in Americans' wallets. Now, if we were to go to Google, let's see, what medical and technological advancements has Israel provided the United States of America? Israel has contributed numerous medical and technological advancements that have been adopted and integrated into the United States. This stems from strong bilateral cooperation in research and development and Israel's robust innovation ecosystem, particularly in health technology and cybersecurity. Medical advancements. PillCam, invented by an Israeli company now owned by US-based Medtronic. The PillCam is a swallowable camera that takes thousands of images of the digestive tract. It offers a less invasive alternative to traditional procedures like endoscopies and colonoscopies. Rewalk exoskeleton, created by Argo Medical Technologies. This wearable robotic suit helps individuals with spinal cord injuries stand, walk, and climb stairs. BioBeat. This wearable device from the Israeli company BioBeat continuously monitors a patient's vital signs, including heart rate, blood pressure, and oxygen saturation, providing real-time data for healthcare providers. Emergency bandage, developed by an Israeli military medic. This trauma dressing includes a built-in pressure applicator for controlling severe bleeding. It has become standard issue for U.S. soldiers and first responders. Digital health technology. Israel has developed a world-leading anonymized database of patient health information over several decades. U.S. health systems like the Mayo Clinic partner with Israeli companies to test and market new products. Minimally invasive cancer treatments. IceCure Medical's IceSense 3 is used by U.S. doctors to remove benign breast lumps by freezing them with liquid nitrogen. Another company, Nanox, is developing more affordable digital X-ray systems. Technological advancements. Cybersecurity, with many Israeli companies such as Checkpoint and CyberArk specializing in advanced cyber defense, the U.S. partners with Israel to secure critical infrastructure. The two nations also conduct joint cybersecurity exercises. Artificial intelligence. The U.S. and Israel are expanding collaboration on next-generation technologies like AI. This includes joint efforts to fund research, develop military applications, and strengthen AI-based cyber defense. Semiconductors. Many multinational companies, including U.S. giant NVIDIA, have research and development centers in Israel. This collaboration drives advancements in computing power critical for AI. Autonomous vehicles. Israeli company Mobileye is a global leader in autonomous driving technology, and its systems are integrated into vehicles from major U.S. manufacturers. Defense systems. The U.S. military has adopted several Israeli defense technologies, including the Trophy Active Protection System, protects armored vehicles from anti-tank missiles. Iron Beam, a laser-based air defense system for countering drone and rocket threats. The U.S. has expressed interest in integrating this technology. Counter-tunneling technology. The two countries jointly develop anti-tunnel technology to address complex terror threats. Drip irrigation and water technology. Israeli innovation in water management, including drip irrigation systems from companies like Netafim, has revolutionized agriculture. Advancements also include integrating AI into water systems for optimal resource management. Software and digital products. Technologies with Israeli origins that are widely used in the U.S. include Waze, the community-based navigation app, USB flash drive, developed in Israel before being commercially marketed, instant messaging. ICQ is one of the earliest platforms for instant messaging. Microsoft Windows and Intel chips have significant research roots in Israel. Let's see. How has Israel helped America during disasters? Israel has aided the U.S. in disasters through humanitarian relief from organizations like IsraAid, which sends aid workers to help with recovery after events like floods, wildfires, and hurricanes. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, has also provided aid such as humanitarian supplies after Hurricane Katrina, and their medical innovations like the Israeli emergency bandage are used by U.S. responders. Israel's support demonstrates a strong alliance and a tradition of providing help in crises. Humanitarian aid organizations, IsraAid. This Israeli nonprofit organization has consistently provided disaster relief in the U.S., with volunteers assisting in the aftermath of floods in Louisiana, the Carolinas, and Texas, as well as wildfires in Washington and hurricanes in Florida. Coordination. IsraAid's efforts are often coordinated with local Jewish federations and partner with U.S. organizations such as Team Rubicon to provide support and help communities recover. Government and military support. IDF. In 2005, the IDF's chief medical officer coordinated the transfer of substantial humanitarian aid to the U.S. after Hurricane Katrina. Medical innovations. Israel's life-saving medical innovations such as the Israeli emergency bandage are used by U.S. soldiers and emergency responders worldwide, enhancing their ability to provide critical care and reduce fatalities in disaster situations. Again, saving lives. Broader context. Reciprocal relationship. While Israel offers aid, the relationship is not one-sided. U.S. assistance often plays a role in Israel's disaster response efforts, as noted by the IDF's observation and learning from American capabilities in past joint drills. International tradition. Israel has a long-standing tradition of providing humanitarian aid, both government-supported and through non-governmental organizations, to nations worldwide during crises, including the U.S. So there's just a few things that if a person was sincere and they really wanted to know what Israel has ever done for the U.S., aside from providing them the very roots of their morality in the Bible, they could just go to Google and they could find out the answer. But instead, they want to ask a rhetorical question that's not easily answered by most people who are not versed on these things. I mean, I'm an Israel supporter and I'm not even versed on these things. But they just want to ask it because they know that the resulting silence will make it sound like Israel never does anything for the United States of America. And that's the picture that they want to paint, is that for all the aid that the United States of America provides its ally, Israel, they don't get anything in return. That's what they want people to believe, because they want people to turn against Israel. Now, let me ask you, if jihadism is anti-Israel, yet jihadist terrorists are our enemies and they threaten our way of life, then why are we turning against Israel? Who is behind the effort to turn the American population against its ally Israel? Now, I don't know why this is happening on the right as well as it is on the left, but I've been a lifelong conservative, a Republican, though maybe not registered for my whole life. I certainly identified as a Republican. And I've always thought that Israel was our ally and that we were cool with Israel. I certainly knew military members to be cool with Israel, but it's only recently that we're starting to see this move um, in the Republican Party to turn against Israel. Now, we could expect the left to do it because the left are basically traitors to the state. You know, they're going off the deep end, right? But why are Republicans turning against Israel? Are they really concerned about the billions in aid that are being given to Israel when so many billions are also being spent on other things? When did conservatives become fair weather friends to their allies so that when things seem a little difficult, or maybe it's a little difficult to provide assistance to one's allies, they puss out all of a sudden and suddenly want to turn their backs on their ally? What kind of alliance is that, where you turn your back on your ally when things are a little difficult? These are not the Republicans I know. And this isn't the America I know. The America I know doesn't turn its back on its allies. It also doesn't appease terrorists and jihadists just because maybe they've got some Arab oil or whatever. That's selling out your values. And the America I know doesn't sell out its values. Now, part of the reason people may not be able to readily list off all the things that Israel does for America is because the Christian scriptures criticize the Jews for doing all of their good deeds only to be seen by men. So maybe Israel wants to be a little low-key in the good things that they're doing for America because they don't want to be seen as only doing them for publicity. So beware these people who ask these rhetorical questions but who make no effort to so easily get their questions answered. All you got to do is type it into Google, people. Just saying.